the train routes between Bucharest, which is the capital, and here, which is like a popular summer destination, they're pretty good. Then from Bucharest to the mountain resorts like Pedal, where I'm going, those are pretty good as well. But then if you try to go to other parts of the country, it's hit and miss, depends. So I think I was mentioning it earlier today that infrastructure is definitely lacking in some way, and it's very noticeable for me after being away for a while. So for example, something that was new when I got here this year is that there's a train station from that takes you, but the train station where you can take a train that goes from the airport to Bucharest, which seems like a very basic service, right? You have one main airport in the country where most of the international flights go, and then it's like 20 kilometers from Bucharest, which is the capital, and you had to take taxis. Lots of scammers, by the way. A lot of scammers on that route, I mean. Or you had to take like a bus or something. Apparently the train line opened like in the last 2 years. It's pretty nice, by the way. A lot more convenient than any other way to get to the airport using public transit. But yeah, it just opened recently. That's kind of... Is this seriously just a Peroni ad? Like a driving Peroni ad? Welcome back to DJ Technique. I don't think I've said it. And around my area and most of the surrounding states, it is car required, right? So I think, this is definitely the case in Romania, but I think it's kind of common in other countries from the former Eastern Bloc, that basically car ownership was kind of difficult under communist rule, and then basically a few years after the revolutions and so on, everyone was like, I want a car, and now we can maybe sort of afford them. So it became a very middle class thing to own a car and to use it everywhere. And what happened is that, at least in my view, a lot of the existing infrastructure for public transport and for walking, that was kind of phased out, not maintained, closed down, repurposed for cars, which kind of sucks. Basically, if I was living in Romania, I would have to own a car. Otherwise, if you're very specific about where you want to go and how you're living or in where you visit and so on, maybe you can make do without a car, like just take taxis and Uber a lot, but it's not very practical. Sorry about the rent, but yeah, basically the middle class went all in on cars and made public transport more difficult. Oh, DJ Technique, what happened to Rachel? But it sounds like nothing good, so I hope she's recovering well. Oh, COVID. This sucks. Glad that he's getting better though. That's really interesting. So actually this city, it used to have a tram system for public transport. And at some point, maybe like 15 years ago, maybe, it was phased out in favor of buses. To be fair, all the trams they had here, like all the stock of tram cars, it was really old and crappy. But I think replacing the trams with newer modern ones, not like communist built ones, I think that would have made public transport a lot more comfortable here. The buses suck. I think I ran into a cobweb. Okay, so you're saying light rail would help. Told you about the trams. So the train service, so I took the train from the airport to here. It took about, I think it was like 25 minutes or 20 minutes from the airport to Bucharest, and then from there to here to Constanța it was like 2 hours and 10, something like that. So overall less than 3 hours by train. That was okay. Something that used to be a common problem here was the AC not working well on trains, but it worked well. It wasn't crowded. Pretty much everyone was wearing a face mask. So overall it was a pretty good experience for me. But what I'm hearing from my parents who still live here is that